We can't afford to waste any time, so requesting all of you to please settle down for the next session. We are, after all, in Stuttgart, in Germany. How can we not talk about that one name? That one name which is the most loved luxury car name in India. In fact, we have a very loyal customer of that name here amongst us, Mr. Barun Das. Of course, we're talking about Mercedes. Stuttgart is the home of Mercedes-Benz. And of course, Hemant Sharma ji is well a loyal customer of Mercedes with us as well. So, we have to talk about Mercedes.
Absolutely, and with us is Mr. Santosh Iyer for Coach Speak on how they drive a billion aspirations. Take a look first.
A billion dreams accelerating forward. A nation powered by ambition and aspiration. India, driving the global consumption story. Santosh Iyer leads the way, setting new standards. Join him as he explores India's billion aspirations, the Coach Speak.
Well, all of us know what that logo means. I think in India we have seen those logos being put on all brands of cars. And my favorite was when I saw it even on a scooter. All yours. The stage is yours. Thank you.
Santosh Iyer, the stage is yours, sir. Yes, please.
Yeah, check. Well, good afternoon, everyone. Distinguished, bureaucrats, if they are in the room. Otherwise, the policymakers, also eminent business personalities, my colleagues, some of you here, and also, I would say, from my colleagues from the headquarters who are also joining me in some time. It's an honor for me to speak at this TV9 Global Summit. Thank you, Barun Das. I think, the entire TV9 team for putting together such a great, fantastic show. Yesterday evening was quite emotional for me. Been coming to Stuttgart for 15 years. As a proud Indian, the topic is now being given to me is about driving a billion aspirations. I think the timing cannot be right, better than current one. And if I look at this, our presidency at the G20 last year clearly underlined our aspirations and showcased India's commitments to foster inclusive growth and sustainable development. By championing multilateralism and we as a country, India aligns as a global citizens for the global progress. And today I will like to highlight some of this here. To start with, TV9 doing such as hosting a summit, outside of India, in Stuttgart by an Indian media organization is actually remarkable, because I think this has never been done. At least I have been in India 25 years in the automotive industry, 15 odd years now handling media. I have never seen such a great initiative. So kudos to the TV9 entire organizational team. A lot of commitment here. At the same time, please. At the same time, India is a land of superlatives. Yesterday evening, we had politicians, we had also a lot of discussions around how India is growing, the GDP share. But I have been in this company now for 15 years, and back home in Stuttgart, the discussion always is, when will India have the biggest growth story coming in? And there is a famous economist who said that India has disappointed both the pessimist as well as the optimist over a period of time. But today, I think I will maybe share a couple of examples, and starting from the luxury car market. Yesterday, Mr. Scindia said that, we have something called strategic patience. 30 years in India, we were doing 2,000 cars. Today, we do 20,000 cars. But it's half glass full, half glass empty, because when I look at some other markets, they may even do 200,000, 500,000 cars. So when will that trigger happen? And also, being world's 5th largest economy, we don't see Indian brands outside, be it banks, contractors, consulting firms, accounting firms. They are still not originating out of India. So that's one way to look at it. But on the other way to look at it, India is I would say, the 3rd largest automotive market in the world. We have more than 4.5 million passenger car vehicles being produced and sold in India. I think that's quite remarkable. A lot of ultra-rich HNIs also reside. You can see a consumption boom happening in India. So a lot of things have changed the corner. I won't go into the infrastructure growth happening. A lot has been said, a lot is known here. But when I look at the data, Germany has 13,000 kilometers of Autobahn. India is building 5 times that in 5 years. That's the kind of pace of infrastructure development that's happening. And we as Mercedes-Benz, we are seeing this. With this change in development, we also see change in aspirations. The per capita income now going up to $3,000. We have clearly seen a lot of aspiration. And I think the three-pointed star really represents I would say, a dream of many Indian to get into this car at some point of time. And what we can see today is on one side, the per car penetration today in India is around 40 per 1,000 people. This you compare with Germany, it's around 600. So one can argue that there is a very long runway and a billion people dreaming they should get into cars. But when you look at public policy, clearly India also has its own set of challenges. We are a growing country, and it's very clear that public transport should be one of the biggest, I would say, lever to ensure that more people get sustainable modes of transport. And then, of course, driving luxury cars or even a car itself is a luxury to a large segment of society today. But this is where that's the pivot that we see, that the billion dreams in India will drive that pivot going forward. In my view, there are 4 mantras, apart from many things that has been said till now, for the billion dreams and aspirations to grow. Number 1 is manufacturing, for sure, because let me give another statistics. For every truck or bus manufactured and sold, you create 14 jobs. For every car that is made, again, you create close to 12 to 13 jobs in India. So if you see 4 million cars being sold today, you just imagine the number of job creation that's happening. And if India has to grow at the 6% growth, surely automotive industry alone can help in getting employment, getting jobs. That's one part, but this cannot be on the traditional setup because the labor cost arbitrage is a thing of the past. Many countries will take up. The core mantra for success would be to combine digitalization in manufacturing. A lot of work happening on digital twins, on trying to make it faster, better, and I think in terms of quality as well. So I think that's something that we need to, again, pivot on. The second thing, which is very much linked to manufacturing, is also about so the Make in India is great, but it's time now we make in India for the world. And here, from the automotive industry standpoint, it's very clear that yes, there are aspirations. A lot of people ask us, are you going to export? At this stage, the answer is no, because one thing that you need to do this is also a free trade, because this is something that we have been, as a multinational company, always been advocating. Borders need to be open to facilitate free trade. We are also now in India formed a lot of associations. Stefan Alusa is here from AHACA. We have been discussing this during the recent APK as well. And I think this our job is also to educate Indian industries to ensure that they don't feel the threat of a free trade, because free trade means both the economies grow. We need to have a win-win equation when it comes to these FTAs. Third, of course, I think the last panel was great and enlightening, so I won't delve into empowering the youth also in terms of getting skill development. But I think the biggest, again, opportunity for India is increasing gender diversity in workforce. Today, with a very low participation of the women workforce, we are not capitalizing the huge potential that lies in India. And the demographic dividend, because most of us are lying on simple mathematics saying that, India is having 1.4 billion, growing at an X rate. This young population, they will start consuming. But for them to consume, they need to have the money in the pocket, the per capita GDP needs to go up. And for that, inclusion of the women workforce will mean that the household income, because today an Indian household is dependent on one income household, and that something which pulls development, growth, consumption down. But inclusion of diversity, inclusion of women more in the workforce will lead to this faster acceleration. Last not the least, which is a bit very close to my heart, you have clearly a strategy from India about green transition. I think the statistics that was mentioned yesterday by Honorable Minister Ashwini Vaishnavji, that India today, 45% of the energy today in India is from renewable, non-fossil fuel-based resources. It's staggering, and this comes into for the future, we are discussing about from being a net importer of energy to a net exporter of green energy. This something will change the balance of trade because manufacturing goods and services is one end of the spectrum, but I think energy export coming out of all the initiatives will change the game. But on the other side, now coming back to the automotive industry, we need to also transition to electrification much more rapidly. Use this on one side, the electrification agenda of the government to shift into green energy. On the other side, transform with electric cars. I think the government has a lot of policy initiatives there. India leads in carbon neutrality, leads in decarbonizing the sector. We cannot grow as a country and fulfill the billion aspirations by putting more cars on road or more vehicles on road without decarbonizing. So decarbonizing need for India. Again, this comes that if there is an X country at an X rate of electrification, should India also go in that same trajectory or even more? And the answer, in my opinion, is we need to do much more than any other country in the world to electrify so that we decarbonize the sector as we grow. Else, we have different set of challenges in public health as well as in other policies. So to conclude, I would say much has been done, a lot has been done, I would say, and adapted to drive the billion aspirations. I am a firm believer that execution is the only strategy customer or the market or the consumer sees. So can the policymakers, can the business houses all execute? I think media plays a big role in questioning this, in trying to push this, and I would love that to continue. And before I end, I grew up in India, which had and I will translate to English as well, but there's a very famous song. It said, "Hum honge kamyab ek din, ek din, ek din," with lot of dots there. And I grew up, it means in English, we will become successful one day, one day, one day, dot, dot, dot. But it's time we become successful today and not tomorrow. And that mindset we saw in the policymakers yesterday, in the bureaucrats, in organizations like TV9, which are really pushing the agenda very strongly, getting the cultures together. This is just not a business delegation. This is how the aspirations of 1 billion people in India will be aspired. We all, I think Germany and India has a very great connect. As I said, personally, been here for 15 years, coming here almost once a quarter, a lot of association with a lot of friends here. I can't be more proud. Thank you once again, TV9, and for sharing my thoughts on driving aspirations for billions back in India. All the best and have a nice day ahead. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Iyer, for that. Please requesting to stay on stage.
And can we please request Mr. Florian Stegman, Mr. Ruben Kasper, and Mr. Barun Das on stage to please felicitate our guests.